Buenas noches, señores and señoritas. Me llamo John Boy. And that's about all my Spanish goes up to. G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another round of SRL action and another night of beautiful SRL action. My name is John Boy Mayav. I'm joined by my good friend, the one, the only Liam Ryan. And we have a clash of two teams. Both sides coming off big wins in this last week. The Raiders inching closer to the playoff spot, while the Wires, well, they eye up a top four finish come the business end of the season. Damo's men emerging 14-4 victors over the Roosters, while the Raiders, they escaped with a 6-4 win over the Cowboys. A game that proves, or seems to prove, a titanic tussle in the making. Only time will tell, I suppose. It's a pleasure to have you on board, as always. Liam, it's so good to have you here, mate. How are you feeling?
Yeah, John Boy, it's obviously exciting here tonight on our Monday night action of footy in SRL. But yeah, both those sides, as you mentioned, near those top 8 spots and both competing for similar positions on the ladder. Yeah, but John Boy, it should be a relatively intriguing matchup here tonight, as you mentioned, and yeah, I'm excited for it.
No, look, I'd say, I'm excited too. It's a good, well, it would be a good night, but I'm in Canberra, so I'm not sure if that's totally correct. Now, the Wires to get us hit off, and Damon Wine will take the kick. And I've got a few keys for the game, as we always do. And for the Wires, it's to let their explosive men out wide rip the Raiders to shreds. The Raiders' defense in recent weeks has actually been fairly good. They held the Cowboys to 4 points in the entire game of footy last week, which was both impressive and absolutely dire to watch. It seems defense is the flavour of the season, as Tennessee Barnes steps 3. He steps into touch. And it's an explosive start to the game. I'm not quite sure what's just happened there. I think KTB's lost his marbles a little bit. He's lost his compass. It's a diving from Damo to force him into touch, and maybe it's 5D chase on the Wires fullback. But Owen Jr. now, he's up over the 35. And it's good to see some explosive running in the SRL now. It's been a pretty dire offensive season, you'd probably have to say, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. It is very exciting to see those steps. Tennessee Barnes doing the 3 steps in one play. We do need the attacking output from these outside backs, and yeah, I think that's certainly a way to do it. And if that continues, that will be very exciting for the SRL.
As Owen Jr. now, he kind of he grapples on the floor for a little bit. The referee wants no part of it. And Aaron White decides that the best course of action is to run straight into a Raider, chest first. Unsure about the veracity of that, but we move on. There's Irby Arnworth now. He's dragged down in a 2-man tackle. And there's some movement going on here in the backfield. I'm not quite sure what the Raiders have played here, but it involves Junior Tyre absolutely leveling some poor bloke. The referee blows play dead. Not satisfied with the outcome. Maybe there's a small knock on there from the Wires I didn't see. Regardless, the outcome remains relatively unchanged. As Chris Law now, he's up over the 5. And the Wires, they're breathing down the necks of the Raiders here, and they'll step straight through, and Damo makes them pay. He carves them in half, does the inspirational captain. And just like that, Liam, we are on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Damian Moana obviously continuing his solid form from last week over the Roosters. He had a double last week. Oh, yeah, just brilliant stuff from him, stepping around those 2 Canberra defenders. It was brilliant ball provided to him by his number 6, I believe, out there in Aaron White. And Moana just steps past him with ease. And yeah, as I mentioned, he's in good form at the minute. It's exciting to see Damo back at his best, and I'm hoping that he can continue it throughout this match.
Yeah, well, look, you'd have to say he's probably a shoo-in for that Kiwis jersey. Whether or not he's in the 1 or the 2, which may have to be seen. I probably have my and the outside backs with them too at the moment. She's in a rare purple patch of form. But for the Kiwis, for Tama Turbo in particular, a selection headache isn't the worst idea going to what will hopefully be a brutal 3-match series against the Pacific All-Stars. At least I'm hoping it's a brutal series for him. Godwin now, he'll get us started away, and the Raiders, under the first little pressure being mounted, they've kind of fallen apart. And for Riley Flynn, that doesn't exactly bode well, as the Wires now. They look to just make use of some indecision in the Raiders' line. 2 men have to jet out of their line to make the tackle. As Broughton Thompson, no fancy footwork from NBT, wasn't inspired when Damo's double step to score. And at the moment, it seems like both sides have players who are hot stepping their way through a bunch of hot stepping their way through either side's hapless defenses. I'd hate to see some of the missed tackle stats already in this game. But it's only 32 meters the end of the set, despite an exciting start. It's down the throat of, it's not KTB, it'll be Artie Sarve now, the physical winger. He's brought down on the 38. He's met in a strong tackle there from the middle. And Tim James. I was talking about keys to the game before the Wires scored, and for the Raiders, the key to the game is winning the game through the middle. I don't think they'll match the Wires in terms of pure firepower. Riley Flynn, while a good fullback, probably isn't quite at Damo's level right now. So you probably hope that Tim James and co can offer some sort of resistance and maybe just grind down the Warriors pack. Mitch Barnes is one hell of a prop. And his input up the middle is crucial, you'd have to say, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. Mitch Barnes is key to their forward pack. They obviously changed their forward pack a little bit this week. Barker has been really good for them off the bench, and Riley Flynn decided to make a change to elevate him to the starting lineup with Rahul Kawal coming off the bench. So we'll have to see when he comes on if that is able to make an impact for the bench as well as their starting lineup.
100%. And as a point of clarification, I've got to tap in my comms piece. Mitch Barnes is at 13, as he has been all season. I'm not sure why I thought he was at prop. But he has some try-scoring brilliance in him. I remember a couple of weeks ago, he shrugged off about 3 or 4 tackles to go the length of the field. And so you're hoping he has a repeat of that today for the Raiders' sake anyway. It's a packed-out home stadium here in Canberra. As Riley Flynn, he steps on, and the Raiders faithful, they'll be wanting a win to just, buff their finals aspirations. And Irby Arnworth gets to the 30. One out passing now. So Mitch Barnes. And Barnesy, he's, like I said, he's going to get involved. It's very vocal about the need for the Raiders to start well. If they score first, it's anyone's hands. Riley Flynn steps forward. Oh, 2 side steps, a pirouette. He's a ballet dancer, is Riley Flynn. That's Irby Arnworth now. And already, Liam, we're starting to see just a bit more freedom from teams. Or the stepping, at least.
Yeah, definitely. As I mentioned earlier, these outside backs seem to be stepping a bit more. As there's Damo. Oh, I thought he might have been off to the races. But yeah, there's certainly an increased prevalence of outside backs stepping here. And it's doing good for the SRL so far. Obviously, only 1 try so far. But if it continues, I'd say that we're going to start seeing some high-scoring matches.
Man, there must have been at least 20 missed tackles so far this game. We're 11 minutes in, and the outside backs for both teams are having a field day. As Sevu Singh, he's brought down on the 45, and the Wires, they've kind of petered out towards the end of the set. And I say that, and Sheridan goes through 2, he goes through 3. Riley Flynn misses a tackle, but he's brought down just shy of the 26. He's brought down a few meters in from touch, so no threat yet. And the ball go down to Artie Sarvier's wing. Artie can dance, and from what we've seen, so 3, 4. Artie Sarvier shrugs off 4 tacklers. We haven't seen free running like this since we probably say SRL 1.0 days, Liam.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that it's free flowing, and maybe not even in SRL 1.0. We haven't seen these wingers and fullbacks stepping 4 players, so it's uncharted territory here. And Arnworth gave a little bit of a off, did he?
Yeah, you don't see that from second rows too much either nowadays. We're getting it all at the moment. It's a real treat to watch. So the score remains 6-0 though, and the Raiders, they're still hanging on, still in this ball game. Despite the early try, they've managed to just massage momentum. Michael Moana now. Steps 3, Michael Moana. He's off to the races, Michael Moana. He's going to get run down from by KTB. I mean, this is... I don't think I've seen an attack like this in... Oh, jeez, maybe not since round 2. As I think a fat Raiders fan got in my way, and my feed has recovered. NBT now. He's up over the 35 at NBT. Big Broughton Thompson's been integral to their success. So is this man, Junior Tyre. He's up through the 18 and it's on the 4th tackle now. Maybe a crash ball to lead in for a grubber kick, or Moana will go himself. He'll pirouette through 3. Moana, he's brought down on the 4. Still no time to get too excited. The Wires want to finish this set off. Flapple. Nah, it's a kick. It's a beautiful kick because Jackson Kearney has just finished it off, the mustache man himself. Look, let's get this replay here now. Times his run well. leaps onto the ball, and it's a beautiful combination there in the middle.
Yeah, it certainly is there. White obviously had to pay the penalty for getting kicking that ball through to his halves partner Keone, and yeah, there was a brilliant combination from the two there, and the Warriors, they obviously are lining up to make this one 12-point lead. Certainly, you'd say it has to be deserved for them. But the Raiders have had their chances so far and just not able to really capitalize on some meterage from their outside backs making some good players. But yeah, they'll just have to improve, I think, in the forwards particularly. They haven't really, I guess, taken it to them as much as you'd hope for.
Yeah, no, 100%. And look, we saw Aaron White get absolutely buried there, and it's just part of being a half. Sometimes you're the 6, sometimes you're the 7. It is honestly, it's the hazard you run when you're in the middle. But he'll take that every day of the week, will Aaron White, as the Lions extend their lead to 12-0 now. And geez, I mean, I'm almost getting vertigo from how many points have been scored so far. As the Lions up over the 32. They're starting to just assert their dominance on this Raiders team. And a show and go from Junior Tire. No sidestep. I was thinking we'd see something soon. But he opts against some fancy footwork. And the Raiders just sit on him too long there. Maybe a tiring pack. They're 3 minutes out from being replaced on the Raiders. Oh my god, 3 sides, 4 sides to 5 side steps. It's getting a bit ridiculous here. The Raiders, they're more than just tired. I think they're absolutely fatigued because I've never seen so many tackles get slipped like that. And Moana now. He's not done yet. Moana. That's 9 broken tackles in like 3 tackles. That's ridiculous, Liam.
Yeah, it is. Damian Moana is absolutely torching these Raiders forwards to shreds here, and I don't think he's going to stop anytime soon as MBT takes it forward. But don't let this man run out of dummy half because he will absolutely tear you to shreds.
Oh, seriously, they might need to start stripping the ball, the Raiders, because as it stands, Damian Moana is having a field day. He might break the SRL record for the broken tackles in a single day. I wish we recorded broken tackles, honestly. It'd be one hell of a stat to have in my back pocket. Tim James now. The Raiders really struggling, as Lucas said, put someone in the turf. I think that might be Irwin, who's been absolutely sunned. Good handy player was his father. And Avesi Barnes. He can't get a sidestep going. He's brought down on the 35. Full tackle. They're in 40-20 range here. They decide to go down the wing. And honestly, it's not a terrible idea. Nathan Flynn? I believe that's the father of Riley Flynn, if not mistaken. It's good to see some relatives in the SRL. After, the Goodwins were the first to do it, really. Or if you go even further back, I guess you had KCK and his son, CAC. I have no further comments on that. as the Wires over the 22. Anything further to add, Liam?
No, not really. I think I might be disciplinary action facing to disciplinary action if I comment anything on that matter.
As the Wires now, it's full tackle. You'd think they'd go for 40-20. They're in the 36. They're in range for 40-20. That's exactly what they'll do. Jackson Kearney hits a stinker of a kick, but actually, there's a chasing Warrior there. Oh no, it's brilliant. I was looking forward to our first cross kick try because there was no one else marking him. The Raiders, halfway through the first half, and there's a strip there from Junior Tire. I don't think it's illegal, but the referee disagrees. There must have been a hand in the second tackle that I didn't quite see. The referee does have a better view of it than I do. Tim James tap and go. The Raiders, they get a chance to respond to the dual Warriors tries. They've been really, really good so far today. The Wires are just restraining momentum and stopping the Raiders from building up too much of a head of steam. It's a second tackle now, though, and they're in the 25. You have to imagine in 2 tackles' time they'll be knocking down the door of the 10. Not if they throw a forward pass. Oh, jeez. To quote the wise man Andrew Voss, no. Can't be wasting opportunities like that, Liam.
No, you can't, and unfortunately, you don't get many chances against this Warriors side, particularly when they're on like this. And that's another one they've thrown away. And it's just been a match of not taking their opportunities so far. They've probably got 2 or 3, and have failed to really do any damage on the Warriors' defensive line when they've got them.
100%, and they finally managed to find a way to stop Damo from breaking 5 tackles in one run. Wires now. Taya up on the 30s, 41 meters gained in the set. And they'll kick it down to the wing of Adi Savia, who has the chance now. It's a one-on-one with the centre. There's no one at home yet, but the second rower covers just in time. 15 minutes left to go in the set. Completely unrelated, but how good is the Rodeo stack at Burger King? So I just had one. It's fantastic. There's the Raiders now. Up to the 32, give or take. I am partial to a Zinger burger, but it's a time and place kind of thing, you know. Tim James now up over the 41. And they seem intent on just going up through the middle. It's either... The centre showing some fancy footwork. I've not seen an explosive run like that from the Raiders yet, and it's great to see because it's finally got them in some decent position, but they have to punt it because they're not quite close enough. Bunty Cambolo. Oh, we've not seen this before, have we, from Bunty? Riley Flynn, though, closes the angle, and Bunty has to shrug off a tracking defender, but it slows him down just enough for Riley to get involved. Riley Flynn's a bit... Riley Flynn's a bit... He's on the bigger side for a fullback.
Yeah, he definitely is. And Riley Flynn, I would have liked to see him get the ball that Aoife got dummy half, because if Damo's doing the damage he is at dummy half and breaking those kind of tackles, imagine what Riley Flynn could do with his frame and ability to break tackles. He might compete with Moana for the record in broken tackles in a game.
Oh, 100%. And look, Riley Flynn is an elite fullback, so the Raiders would do worth it just to let him touch the ball as much as he wants. And that roaming playmaker role that Damo seems to have adopted would be fantastic for Riley. You'd have to imagine as KTB goes on a run and he avoids the touchline this time. Very well done. And Damo, he has a word with him, tells him to get back down. Caval now. He's up over the 31. The Raiders. It's a flat ball to KTB, and that's a fantastic ball because KTB will step... Oh, he's driven out again. It's poor luck for the poor fella. But as he's making the break, you just see it there. Fantastic awareness there from the wires. I think that's Nathan Walsh who's made the stop. And he forces KTB out yet again. This is second era of the half from a wing. You don't see that too often, Liam.
No, you don't. But as you said, it was really... there's not much you can do with your Tanavisi Barnes there because, he's just getting ankle tap from behind, and as he falls down, his momentum's all going to go into that touchline. Oh, Michael Moana, he's having a very good game here. But Tanavisi Barnes 2 errors, but he's been a bit unfortunate. So I'm sure he'll get a bit of luck going his way if he gets some more ball late in this first half. Yeah,
I can see clarification earlier, but Michael Moana is not related to Damien Moana. Apparently, he's actually just a friend of Sonny, which is, disappointing. I was hoping maybe a sibling or family clash. But we won't get such thing today. As Columbus flies high, does Johnny, but he's brought down on the 12, and they'll just reset there with the Raiders. They start to navigate this half quite well. The Raiders falling into their rhythm. Unfortunately, they're going to have to play catch-up, and it'd be greatly aided by a try this side of half-time. Because otherwise, the Wires, they're very, very skilled at just killing games off, man.
Yeah, they definitely are. The middle. Armworth, that's the second time he's done that. Very interesting for a back rower to be starting to fend off. And you want to say it more, but Riley Flynn's... he might be off. Oh, no, Riley Flynn caught.
Off it away. This game is such good value. Even if the points haven't quite flowed the way you may want. Mate, the line breaks have been there. The sidestepping action that we'd grown accustomed to seeing with SRL is there. As the pass is almost picked off there. Like Godwin snags it. And said that a try would be very, very good for the Raiders' hopes. And that's exactly what they'll try to do. But unfortunately for them, Sevu Singh he kind of contemplates life to Sevu Singh, but he opts against going dead. No Wires now. Oh, it's a Falcon. It's a terrible time one because Mitch Barnes will pop drop on it. He'll push Mitch Barnes. He's brought down just short. The Wires defensive line readjusts. Maybe a bit too far this time. And Godwin will push over. He's brought down, though, and put on his back by 2 determined Wires defenders. And Tim James starts to have a go. I don't mind that from him. It's still only the third tackle. They've got 8 minutes left. They don't have to rush things here, the Raiders. Flat ball. Beautiful ball. Forward ball. And Caval, when it's not your day, it's just not your day. And right now, the Raiders, they're struggling to get anything going in the red zone.
Yeah, they definitely are, and yeah, that's just unfortunate again for them, isn't it? That was fairly flat by my books, and if I was a referee, I probably would have let it go. But that might be why I'm not a referee, because maybe he just saw that one as forward and had to call it. But Columbus were a few steps. Oh my God, that's 4. Johnny Columbus.
I'm loving what I'm watching today. If nothing else, it's a sidestep off, and I am enjoying life. The Wires now up over the 18-meter line. Damien Moana now. His boys have been buoyed by just the onslaught of sidesteps. And despite their early era last set, they've managed to find themselves on the 15, the Wires. Jackson Kearney, he hoists a kick up high. Down the wing of Johnny Columbus, but Johnny Columbus cannot outjump Artie Savia, and Artie Savia will have a go. He'll beat 2, but he's brought down by a 3rd. With 5 minutes left, I'd love to see some open field brilliance from Riley Flynn just to break this game wide open. Because right now his boys are struggling to finish off tries in the red zone when they get close. Now, there's something to be said about a compressed defensive line being harder to beat on the goal line, but even with that in mind, the Raiders seem bereft of ideas with ball and handling, you'd have to say.
Yeah, they don't really have too many ideas to throw it out to their playmakers, I guess. I think they've had success with their outside backs, and yeah, they just haven't got it to guys like Flynn enough. And Tenavisi Barnes is being dangerous when he's got it, but they just haven't got it to them enough to be able to reap the rewards that the Warriors have been able to.
No, absolutely. And look, that probably shows the golfing class between both teams at the moment. The Wires, they just know how to win at the moment. And their season has been up and down. They haven't make no mistake about it, the Wires, but by and large, they've found ways to win. And for the Raiders, they know how to win, but funny that consistency is another challenge altogether. But this game is not over. By no means is it over. And we know in the SRL, we cannot count our chickens before they hatch. Especially if you're a Wires fan. You're at home, you're at the Raiders, maybe fatigue starts to play a factor. And we've seen just how often, we've seen strips come into the SRL recently. Those can play a massive, massive role in shifting momentum. To KTB, he steps one. The centre and the second row and the fullback's cover. I mean, it is impressive to watch if you're a neutral fan. That is, there is no doubt about that. As KTB also makes sure to go inland, so he can't be pushed out by a Wires defender. You'll love to see it. It's Tim James now, up over the 42. 3rd tackle now. And the Raiders, they're just slowly but surely making their way upstairs. But if they don't get a move on and they don't break the line next, they'll be forced to punt the ball off the tackle. Next tackle, sorry. Riley Flynn is kind of shadowing in back play, but they won't get to him in time, and they'll be forced to punt it here. And I'd be a little bit nervous about punting the ball because with tired defenders at the end of a half, there's room for all sorts of tomfoolery from Bunty Cambolo. The centre makes a solid tackle on the Wires. Will have to work their way out the good old-fashioned way. Or maybe a yardage penalty if they're lucky. Lord now. Up over the 28. I hear Snickerborough loves Chris Lord. Salted out. Up over the 33. The Warriors, they seem content just to let this lead stay the same in going into halftime. And they don't want to chance their arm and give the Raiders an opportunity with 30 seconds left on the clock. But even with that in mind, I think they'll go for a 40-20 attempt, and that's exactly what they'll do. White, it's a bit of a lethargic attempt, and it goes to a forward, though, from Luca Said. And Luca, he's been down the 40, and that will just about do us for this first half. I wish I had a witty lead-in for the second half, but unfortunately I do not. G'day, ladies and gentlemen. I am John Bonlav, and welcome back to the second half of SRL action. This first half has seen the Warriors stretch out to a 12-0 lead, despite somehow having less sets than the Raiders. That and much more statistical analysis and breakdown to come soon. But first, let's talk about missed tackles, Liam, because they have been aplenty.
Yes, they have been. In that first half, Raiders had missed 43 tackles.
And
we see a penalty already.
You just put the knockers on them a little bit more, I reckon, Liam. But yes, you're talking about missed tackles?
Yes, 43 in the first half for Canberra. And the Warriors, even though they're leading 12 points to 0, 37 missed tackles in that first half. So, yeah, both these sides are finding it hard to stick the tackles so far.
Yeah, just to come 80 or so missed tackles between both teams. I mean, Yeah, I think the 7 missed tackles from Moana is kind of understandable given that the Warriors line has actually been kind of splintered a few times throughout the first half. For Eads, though, I'm not quite sure how he's missed so many tackles, as George Slattery claims another victim. That might be Eads again who's just getting up, actually. I'm not quite sure. Tim James had 23 tackles at the half. He'll be well on track to breaking the tackles record. I think it's about 39, give or take. As we see 4 or 5. What is going on? Johnny Columbus, he breaks several tackles. Johnny Columbus will score the try of the season.
Yeah, that might have been the best try I've ever seen, John Boy. Let's count these tacklers that he broke here. Oh, they won't show us a replay, but I reckon it was about 7 before he got to the line. That is just amazing stuff from Johnny Columbus. He just said, "Nah, I'm not getting tackled. Pirouette, 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 and I'm over."
It's I'm speechless. I've just witnessed a man hit 6 pirouettes and then shrug off 2 tacklers to score a try. I was going to say the Raiders needed to start the half with some defensive steel. Instead, they started the half with some defensive atrocity.
Yeah.
that was. Oh my god! I think was it 8 more missed tackles to add to the record.
Yeah, probably something like that. And yeah, the Jake Eads might have added to his total there with a missed tackle there, and might be at 8 already.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm kind of stun locked after that try. The Muzbet 2 or the SRL Bet 2 enjoyers will be loving that. Is that 151 points to be scored across the entirety of round 12? This will get the most away. As we have a strip now from the Raiders. I'd say second of the game, more strippers in the nightclub. Oh no. Oh my god. If you're a Raiders fan, I'd be pulling my hair out. If you enjoy rugby league, you'd probably be pulling your hair out too, because the Raiders are finding new and inventive ways to shoot themselves in the foot. Oh my god. Ooh. The poor Raiders faithful right now are probably wondering what is going on, Liam, it's fair to say.
Yeah, they definitely are. And I think that they've been struggling a little bit, particularly defensively, as we see Moana make another break. But yeah, they've just been making so many errors. And as you said, you'd be pulling your hair out if you're a Raiders fan. But I might be doing a little bit more if I was a Canberra fan at the moment, because nothing's going their way, and they just keep on making you have to say, self-inflicted errors, and keep shooting themselves in the foot.
I think it's started to slightly progress from shooting themselves in the foot. I think this is shooting yourself in the foot, reloading the gun, shooting yourself in your other foot, reloading the gun again, and then maybe aiming for your head. Because what is going on? The Raiders now, Godwin, he's up over the 23. And maybe they're trying to just extend some normalcy into this game. Because God knows it's needed. It's been on crack this game so far. It's been thoroughly entertaining to watch. And it's been good to be back in the nation's capital, if nothing else. Tim James over the 40. And I think if they throw it back into the pocket, they'll be in 40-20 range, the Raiders. But Riley Flynn has to just take a leaf out of Damon Moana's book. He goes from dummy. With 30 minutes left, time is slowly starting to tick for both sides. The Wires won't be too concerned, but the Raiders, now they've got to not just score 3 tries, but score 3 tries and get extra points. As I'm not quite sure what I've just witnessed, but Michael Moana has just made 5 different Raiders look silly, look buffoon, look just idiotic. Liam, I'm going to take a deep breath in. This game is something.
Yeah, definitely. Michael Moana, these Warriors outside backs in general are just making a fool out of these Raiders ones. Oh, Damien looking to add to that. But yeah, these Warriors outside backs are insane right now. And you said they'd be lethal in this game and prove a difference, and they certainly are doing that.
What do you reckon the over-under is on missed tackles for like 130, do you reckon? Do you reckon over-under whether this is all said and done?
I reckon it's over the way we're going. What we're at 43 plus 37. What's that? 80. So we're at halftime. So we're gonna have if we're on track for about 160. Who knows if it will be more or less? But I think it's gonna be over.
We had about 9 missed tackles in one of the sets, just one set alone recently. So we're on the way up to 90, nearly over 100. God knows the poor statisticians at the SRL are probably tearing their hairs out. Riley for now, he's lurking on the inside as Riley, but he can't get a step off, surprisingly enough. The Raiders, they won't even be in 40-20 range off this set. It'll be Mitch Barnes now, up over the 38. The Raiders will be forced to kick, and I just don't know if I'd want to do that. And you know what I really wouldn't want to do is knock the ball on when I'm down by 18 points. What are you challenging? What are you challenging?
Checking if the ball
It's knocked the ball.
The ball is knocked forward by the Raiders.
Yeah, it is.
We have a decision.
This is why this is why props shouldn't be allowed to challenge. The ball is knocked on. I don't think we need the ref's intervention for that one. And I don't think the Raiders needed to challenge it. Riley Flynn's just had a brain fade listening to a forward. Sweet Jesus, when it rains, it pours for the Raiders. And unfortunately, Bass has had a brain fade, and then he's followed up with a brain fade to Flynn. Liam, is there anything that could have justified a challenge there?
Well, I thought originally maybe it was a Falcon, but maybe he thought it came off his head, but surely Barker knows that it didn't come off his head, so I'm not sure. Maybe he could have justified it by Flynn wanting some to be able to set the defensive line, but other than that, there's no reason for it. You'd rather save it for the end of the game. Maybe when you potentially come back and actually need a challenge.
And the Raiders, they've got to defuse this now. Oh, no. Oh. Didn't go, eh? Wait, hold up. How does that work?
I don't know, actually. It looks like it was out of Sheridan Oos, so what is going on there?
Because if it's off the wires, then it should be Raiders 7 tackle set. And if it's not off the wires, well, there's no way a Raider could have touched it. I don't think so.
Was it kicked off Flynn's boot, maybe?
Well, because I thought Sheridan Oos had grounded that. Like, the whole point was that he had grounded the ball. Well, you know what? I'm sure the ref has an angle that we didn't see, Liam. Either that or the ref is just having a shock. Sheridan Oos now up over the 10. And the Raiders just looking to do anything they can to stop a try. And a Falcon or KGS won't help their cause. It's brought down now, though. They'll need to reset it, dummy, because otherwise Junior Ty is going to go straight through the middle. He's going to burrow under. Again, he milks a six tackle set again, does Junior Ty. And it's just one out rugby. It's brutal, it's simplistic, and it is brilliant because NBT's gone over. What? He scored that. It's a good old-fashioned Rugby League Live 4 animation too, actually, while I'm at it.
But yeah, he's definitely scored that. Yeah, I'd agree with you.
It's 3 letters, 4 points, green lights. That's a try for the Raiders. For the Warriors, I should say. And it is now all of a sudden very much one-way traffic for the Raiders. Let me just turn to points differential for a minute, because that starts to become a very real consideration for the Raiders, doesn't it, Liam?
Yeah, definitely. I think that being down 24 points is certainly something they're going to have to consider, and they don't want to bleed anything more here. They just want to be able to, I guess, replenish some of that point differential they're losing right now. What are they at? Minus 10 at the moment. So we're down to minus 34 after if it remains the same. But yeah, they're certainly going to want to get a couple points back with their lack of points differential as it is, because obviously I think you'll be licking your lips at this, John Boy, with your side's point differential below them.
Yeah, no, you believe you me, because they're on minus 10 right now. 24-point loss as it stands would have them minus 30, and that would be devastating when it comes to head-to-heads come the business end of the season, as the Warriors now. Well, they'll be wanting to pile on more points because they're looking to get into a top 4 berth, and this will do wonders for the points differential, Liam, the other way anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I think so they'll be at 72 plus 72 after this win, and yeah, they'll be tied with the Broncos and Rabbitohs after this one. Obviously, I don't know what's happened in that Broncos game, but prior to anything else, they will be tied with the both those sides on 16 points, and yeah, it will be a good result if they can end up holding on here.
I think with the Falter and Knight side, the top 4 is starting to look just a little bit more open, Liam. I think that's exciting for your Broncos, but it's also exciting for this Wires team from Moana who've really hit their own straps.
Yeah, definitely. I think that this, what we've seen in this game so far has been really exciting for the Warriors. I think this is been the best I've seen them look since about round 3 or 4. Like they've been able to get wins here and there, but they just not looked as
Oh no!
convincing. And oh
Oh
no, here
no!
goes Damien.
that's three Knights trailing in the three Raiders trailing in the wake now, and the Warriors are just starting to just apply those screws that we know they can. Junior Tire up over the 30. He just surveys, and it was that milked 6 again. Sorry, did Junior Tire? No, it's Moana. Sorry, I almost gave Tire credit for something he didn't do. That's Junior now. He won't start step out of dummy. He'll just go straight up. But he milked that 6 again that led to the Warriors try. They're not going to do anything too silly. Oh my god, David Moore has made them look silly. That's another 6 missed tackles, and I think the 130 is looking just a little bit small actually. Maybe we should have seen more coming, Liam.
Yeah, maybe we were a bit silly by that over/under total there, but maybe they're going to have to start doing SRL bets for missed tackles the way we're going, because if this seems to continue across all games, there will be a lot of missed tackles across the round, and Damien Moana is making a fool out of this Raiders defense. It almost looks like he's on steroids, this Warriors side. They are just absolutely dominating the Raiders as if they were schoolboys.
Yeah, well, you'd have to imagine he'll be doing a steroid test when this is all said and done. And maybe they should check the bank accounts of the Raiders. Maybe there's some bets placed on missed tackles in a game, because they're doing their darndest to let Damo look like prime. Well, you'd say what, Barber, Drabojevic, prime 2012 Ben Barber, 2021 Drabojevic. I mean, it's pretty shocking stuff on the Raiders now, as I think the fight has well and truly just evaporated from this Raiders side. The Wires, they're just taking advantage of some lackluster defense. There's not much the Raiders are able to do. And they'll just go straight back behind. It's up to Kearney now. And Jackson's been really good. He had a hand in a try, and then he also scored one himself. The 6-7 duo between him and Aaron White has been fantastic for the Wires. And oh my god, that is no way. Oh, and it's stripped. You know, it almost deserved to strip, because I don't think the Warriors from the frustration hold him down. But almost deserved to strip, because that is 7 tackles broken in one play. Nathan Flynn looks a fine touch. And the Raiders now, they're just, well, you'd have to say maybe they're just tired. I'm not quite sure what explains what's happened so far, like Liam, because they've just gone off the boil.
Yeah, fatigue could certainly be an explanation for their performance. Maybe it's just defensive output. They're just not able to handle this Warriors attack. Obviously, when they're on, they're very hard to stop. But yeah, I don't know. It could be fatigue. It could just be Warriors are playing that well that you can't really stop them. Yeah, I'd probably go for the latter there, because the Warriors are just breaking tackles at will, and it's something you don't see very often.
Yeah, and for the Raiders now, they're entering danger territory. They had a negative 10 PD going into this game. Well, a try here will help, but so will as Nathan Flynn just falls over. Referee will blow the try. It's a little bit of a delay, but it is a try. Nathan Flynn, that's his first try, if I'm not mistaken. Congratulations to the old fella. Very well deserved try, and it's almost a little bit too easy. Just falls over. The Wire's a little slow to react. But as I was saying, they were on negative 10 before this game. Now, after that try, they'll remain on negative 30. They'll be negative 34, I think. 24 points are the difference in this game after this conversion goes over. You'd have to imagine from Godwin, I should say, as they kick the extras now. So it'll be a 24-point difference, but still trailing behind them are the Sharkies with a 19 positive differential. And then the Seagulls are negative 30, negative 72 from the Roosters. Yeah, it's not looking great for them, especially with the Sharkies playing the Roosters soon. And if the Sharks beat the Roosters, I think that is their playoff aspirations done and dusted, Liam, if I'm not mistaken. With the Roosters on 8 points and the Sharks on 10 at the moment, it would probably extend the gap in further. And I think it's points differential now that's really, really going to hurt some teams.
Yeah, definitely. Particularly the teams around that, just the bottom of the 8. The point differential is really going to come to be a differentiating factor here. And yeah, for the Roosters, if they end up losing this week to your Sharkies, I think they're really going to struggle, and it probably is season.
Oh,
There's
Riley
a
Flynn
big
gets
shot.
clobbered. And the Warriors are starting to fall off tackles now. Maybe the Raiders trying to just a little bit of a PD comeback. I don't think they'll get back in it. It'll take the biggest comeback in SRL history for the Raiders to win this game. Like 24 points was the SRL 1.0 record, and they'd have to break that in order to win here. And so we'll see what the Raiders can muster, but they've been a bit slow, I think, this game. It's safe to say they've let the Warriors just dictate tempo, dictate the game, and as such, they've paid for it. But it'll be another try for the Raiders as O'Connell now ducks and weaves. And 30-12, and this is what we probably expect more from the Raiders, is just a little bit more fight. And the Warriors, they're falling off tackles now, Liam.
Yeah, they are. That's a little bit more of what we're seeing from the Warriors and their outside backs in this game. And Declan Connell stepping two and scoring relatively easy there. Yeah, the Warriors, it was just maybe they've reached their fatigue point in this one. But yeah, fair play to the Raiders. Scoring two quick tries here, it's certainly going to help their point differential and ensuring that they I guess, damage limitation here. Making sure that they don't have too big of a margin and lose too much point differential to the Sharks.
Yeah, so as it stands, the Sharks are the only team in the bottom 8 that have a positive PD. Now that's actually good news for the Raiders, because it means that even if they lose by a margin today, they'll still be relatively well placed amongst other teams with negative PDs. So a lot behind them, the Seagulls are on negative 30 and the Roosters are on negative 72. So in theory, it's actually not too bad for them. They'll be on negative 30, give or take, along with the Seagulls. But I guess when it comes to the end of the season, when it all shakes up, it could be competitive for the Raiders. Obviously, a few wins would be ideal just to cut it down to negative 10 or even positive mark. But it'd take a few big efforts for the Raiders. And they're now stuck within their 40. And they'll have to kick it down the throat of one of the dangerous wise wingers, and that is something that I'm sure the Raiders are not looking forward to, but they'll get another 6 again. And the Wires, they haven't really touched the ball in this last 10 minutes, Liam.
No, they haven't. I think the Raiders have started to get a run of possession, and it would have been great if they got this late in that first half when they were getting smashed by the Warriors outside backs. But yeah, they've got their run of possession now, and as I said, I think they'll be looking to get a third try here and damage limitation to an extreme.
100% of damage limitation is what the Raiders are seeking to do. As the fourth tackle now, the Warriors, every time the Raiders get to the fifth tackle, seem to want to just make some sort of error. It's probably frustrating for Damo, just as it's frustrating for their fans, hoping just to watch them close it out and just run up the score. But the Raiders, if they could cut this down to just a 12-point loss, they'd be very, very well placed going into the rest of the season. But unfortunately, Sheridan Oos defies physics to just stand still and catch it with his left hand and then turn around. A roving Riley Flynn can't quite make them pay. 11 minutes left in this ball game, and I think the momentum leading towards a unlikely Raiders comeback has well and truly ceased. It's Moana now, up over 38. Warriors with a nice block shape right. Double pass here. A triple sidestep there from Michael Moana. And that's the type of mental lapse that's really killed the Raiders this game. Is letting a guy like Moana just roam free. As Damo, he goes for a run now too. The Raiders probably missed another 10 tackles, that's it. And they'll kick it down to the wing of... Oh, no, down Riley Flynn's threat, actually. He'll look to sides. He'll look to make some magic. In fact, he'll get more than just magic. Is Riley Flynn. He ducks out of Damo Moana's tackle. But the goose step and a goose step is not enough because he's caught as it slows him down. It's Martin now. He's up over the 41. Trent Martin. Either now, the missed tackle extraordinaire. Also, no, it's Eads who's the missed tackle extraordinaire. The left centre. It's Lucas Sid. He's off to Martin. Trent Martin gets involved for the second time this set. Fourth tackle now. Raiders with space to play with. But Tim James, who takes a relatively selfish option, you have to say. Up to the 30 now in this game is saying just die down. both teams probably realise the gravity of the situation they face themselves in. As a flying wing, I want to say it's Artie Savia who's flown in. Actually, no, I think it's KTB who's flown in there. And he nearly picks it off the head of the winger. It's Moana now. Moana just does his thing as he's done all game this day, Moana. He's got a raft of space, but he's brought down to the 30. I think his legs a little bit too tired to make too much of an impact. As the Wires now up and over to the 23. And the Wires look to go right. Up through Chris Lord. He's up to the 18 as Lordy. Junior Tide just have contact, and the Wires a bit gun shy in the second half. After they extend their lead, they just massage the lead, but it'll be some nice hands, some beautiful hands, and Damon Moana just puts the exclamation mark on one hell of a performance lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Damien Moana, it's a brilliant step. Is that Eads out? No, I think it's oh, it is Eads. You reckon? Oh, I thought Eads moved to the back row, but it was a redhead, maybe the number 7 actually. But yeah, Damo made a fool of whoever it was out there, and yeah, got his hat trick there. What a performance from both Moanas here tonight. Obviously, Damo getting that try, but Michael's contributed here tonight as well, and this Warriors outside back trio is certainly proving dangerous.
Yeah, and like we said, the points differential for the Raiders, we need to harp on about it, but it gets that much worse. You are right. There was the second row switch, as you mentioned, and I think that's Trent Martin who got stepped out of his shoes. It's unfortunate for the Raiders because they go back to being in. Well, they're already in danger territory, but this is almost playoff ambition killing for them. It's now down the throat of Jackson Kearney, and Kearney, he's up and up over the 20. No, he's actually put a shot down just shy. And the Raiders, they'll be looking to avoid a 40 beat because I don't think a 40 bomb's been dropped on any team since at least round 2. I think the Storm were the last team to concede more than the Roosters are the last team to concede more than 30 points, more than 40 points. Moana, Michael Moana, and the Moanas, they're not done yet. Oh my god, you're kidding! I mean. Liam, all pretense of tackling has gone well and truly out the window.
Yeah, it's certainly the Raiders. I don't know if they know what tackling is anymore because they are just falling off tackles at will, and yeah, they're not really defending like you usually say them would because they have not been conceding that many points the last few weeks, and tonight it's went out the window, and they are letting Michael and Damo Moanas just absolutely cook their defense, and that it is not doing good for them at all.
And the Warriors are looking like they just want to sit down in the tackles. They were on the tackle for a bit too long. The Raiders will probably be well within their rights to be feeling aggrieved that the penalty wasn't blown. What tackle now though? It's Tim James up over the 42. Well there, Timmy. Free yells last tackle, and the Raiders will probably get one more set after this. Well, assuming Moana doesn't step half of them to score a try. And he's met in a fierce tackle from the middle. The Wires now. Up to the 46, give or take. He's been industrious today, He's been quite busy. And a pretty efficient Wires pack tonight, you have to say, is Moana. I mean, just how many meters this man has made. I'd hate to see the missed tackle stats at the end of this game for some Raiders because they're not going to be pretty. I promise you they will not be pretty. I don't think the Wires have actually, comparatively, the Wires haven't missed that many tackles, I don't think. Like, they definitely missed tackles this game, but I think the Raiders have well and truly surpassed them. The final stats will show soon. As the Wires make an error on their last set. And Tim James will jump in. They look to salvage some pride with the Raiders. 0 tackle. And the 7 tackle set. As Riley Flynn, he goes in a dart. And a long-range try would do them wonders to cut down the lead back to, back to manageable. 18 points, that's not finals hope ending, but it doesn't look like it's meant to be for the Raiders because as the clock signals, that is time, and the Warriors, they lead, and they will win in emphatic fashion today, Liam.
Yeah, they will. Warriors. It's a convincing win, obviously, here at GIO Stadium. Yeah, they are that was an insane performance, particularly from their outside backs that we've been harping on about all game. And Damian Moana, just
Holy shit! Oh,
that
sorry,
is
Liam.
just that is just insane. 3 tries from him, obviously. Columbus in the outside backs as well. We remember that insane try with breaking off 7 tackles early in the second half. It was
Liam,
just insane.
does that read 95 missed tackles to 51?
Oh my word, that is our over under was ridiculously far off. What was it?
We had under we had 130, but 150 is what it looks.
About that.
Yeah, about maybe 145. Jesus, 95 missed tackles. That is.
They are going to have to go back to basics, aren't they, the Raiders?
They might need to put some sticky tape on their jerseys where their shoulders are supposed to be, because that is abysmal. Just real quick, 3 errors, but 3 penalties conceded by the Wires. The Warriors had the same amount of sets as the Raiders. They just had less incompletions, but I don't think you could put down that many missed tackles to completion errors, really. The Wires did dominate possession, though, as was to be expected, and line breaks 34-22. I mean, when you're on the back foot for so long, those things are going to happen. But let's go to the Raiders' individual stats. And Liam, why don't you break down the Raiders' stats for us?
Yeah, definitely. As we look at Jake Eads first, I'm sorry, mate, to do this to you, but 65 minutes. He had a solid day of meterage. I'll give him that. 12 tackles, but then we look at missed tackles. 13 missed tackles tonight. Certainly brings him to first grade. That's your welcome to first grade, mate. Obviously, debuted a couple weeks ago, but yeah, that is an effort from him tonight. One of the games of all time. As we look down to Nathan Flynn, 103 meters. You can't say he didn't try tonight. He was certainly solid in attack. One of their only 2 try scorers. He had with the boot 6 kicks, 198 kick meters. Sorry. Had the try, 3 errors, but yeah, he's learning. Obviously, debuted a couple weeks ago. Irby Armworth, solid night, 60 minutes, 106 meters, 10 tackles, had the 6 missed. Not much else. Riley Flynn, I thought he tried his hardest tonight, but yeah, maybe a bit underwhelming. 157 run meters compared to Damo. Anyway, just wasn't anywhere near it. Damo definitely won that fullback battle. Looking down, is there anyone else? Yeah, there's a. Oh, Lucas said he was not great in defense. 48 minutes.
You don't want that from your middle either, because 10 missed tackles in the middle is pretty telling on the overall structural integrity of a defense. That's pretty poor from the Raiders pack in general. As we turn now to, I guess, the Wires, because there is some pretty stark reading in that initial statistic. And let's start with the obvious. Damian Moana ran 370 run meters. We're lucky they don't show made tackles, because broken tackles, because I think he must have broken like 40 tackles that game. Absolutely absurd from inspirational captain. And he will be an Achilles jumper coming into the season. And if he plays like this against us, I am terrified. And we'll go through the rest of the stats. And what's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players over 100, and 4 of those 6 players were over 150. Just scroll down if we scroll down all the way. Jackson Kearney had 272 kick meters, a pretty standard day at the office for the fact man. And Johnny Columbus at 148 as a centre is absurd. I think also to put a note that while there is like high missed tackles, it is in positions where you normally do see high missed tackles, like centres and fullbacks do generally miss more tackles. Damien's last line of defence, you'll expect to see that. For your centres, you'd also expect to have more missed tackles just by having to deal with kick returns. But the big story is that the meter eaters for the Warriors did their jobs, and for the Raiders, their boys got towelled up. That is, the long and short of it is that, respectfully to the Raiders, they got their asses kicked tonight. And they got their asses kicked in the trenches, with the boot, with ball in hand. They couldn't make a tackle to save their lives. I mean, it's tough viewing if you're a Raiders fan. And for the boys in green, the boys from the capital, this next week proves to be a very tough one. That is all we have time for today, though, ladies and gentlemen. I've been John Boy Maava, joined by my good friend Liam Ryan. You take care, enjoy your Monday night, be safe, and we'll see you in the next one.